Here's how airlines turn you into the product, starting with the first trick you never see coming. Number 1. The psychological trap. It starts the moment you open a booking site. The price jumps while you're staring at it, not because of demand, not because of timing, but because algorithms are already watching. Dynamic pricing engines adjust fares every 4 minutes. They track your clicks, hesitation time, scrolling patterns, then calculate the exact moment you're most likely to break. It's not commerce, it's psychology. Fake urgency seals the deal. Countdown timers tick down toward nothing. Only 2 seats left at this price pops up, but that number? Often generated by code, not real inventory. In fact, Fareportal was fined $2.6 million for exactly that, manufacturing scarcity with random number generators. And it gets darker. Airlines aren't just reacting to your behavior, they're predicting it. Their systems learn from millions of past travelers to anticipate when you'll crack under pressure. They use loss aversion, a cognitive bias that makes you fear losing a good deal more than you value finding one. One former airline revenue manager described it perfectly. We're not selling seats, we're selling fear. Fear that the price will go up, fear that the flight will sell out, fear that you'll be stuck with the terrible option. And while you're being nudged into a panic purchase, the airline's real profit machine hasn't even started yet. Number 2. Mood manipulation machine. Step onto any aircraft and you're not just boarding a plane, you're entering a sensory experiment engineered to influence your behavior. From the lighting to the seat cushion, every detail is calibrated to shape how you feel, how you think, and yes, how you spend. Take the cabin lights. Airlines use LED-based mood control systems designed with neuroscience in mind. Virgin America's signature pink and purple glow? It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, lowering stress, boosting calm, and making you more receptive to upsells. During the flight, color sequences shift subtly to nudge your circadian rhythm, making you drowsy or alert on cue. Temperature is no accident either. Airline cabins are kept 2 to 3 degrees cooler than what passengers report as comfortable. Why? Studies show cooler air boosts alertness and encourages impulse purchases. So when flight attendants roll down the aisle with $9 snacks or $75 perfumes, that chill in the air is part of the strategy. It goes deeper. Economy seats aren't just cramped, they're engineered to be. One Boeing interior designer admitted they intentionally designed dissatisfaction into the experience to make upgrades seem more appealing. That armrest? Narrow by design. That seat pitch? Precisely calculated to create just enough discomfort to trigger wallet decisions. Even meal service is timed like clockwork. Airlines serve food when you're most psychologically vulnerable, often syncing with dips in blood sugar or circadian lows to boost the chance you'll spring for a second drink, snack box, or overpriced sandwich. What feels like a normal flight is actually a revenue funnel built around your biology. Number 3. The loyalty addiction system. Airline loyalty programs aren't rewards. They're behavioral control systems designed not to thank you, but to train you. Delta's SkyMiles program was once valued at $26 billion, more than the airline's entire market cap during the pandemic. That wasn't an accident, it was design. These programs rely on variable ratio reinforcement, the same principle that makes slot machines addictive. You never know exactly when you'll get an upgrade or perk, and that unpredictability makes your brain crave the next interaction. Airlines hire behavioral economists to fine-tune that craving into habit. Then comes breakage, the industry term for expired miles, blackout dates, and redemption restrictions. Airlines flood unpopular routes with award seats, then block access to peak dates, ensuring you almost never get full value from your points, but you keep trying. Status is the hook. It's engineered scarcity, creating social validation and behavioral change. The benefits are just valuable enough to influence your choices, but rarely enough to offset what you pay chasing them. Travelers routinely pay more for worse flights to preserve elite tiers. They book unnecessary trips to requalify, swipe airline credit cards for daily purchases, and ignore better financial options, all for the illusion of progress in a game they don't control. Number 4. Hidden revenue empire. Airlines aren't in the business of flying passengers. They're in the business of monetizing every second you spend in their ecosystem. The plane ticket? That's just your coverage charge to enter a sprawling revenue machine operating behind the scenes. In 2024, all 4 major U.S. airlines lost money on actual flight operations, but still posted $8 billion in combined profits. None of it came from flying you. It came from what happens around the flight: financial services, targeted upsells, cargo margins, and monetized delays. Delays and calculations? They're not just operational headaches, they're revenue levers. U.S. airlines have no legal obligation to compensate passengers for domestic delays, not even if you're stranded overnight. Instead of refunds, they offer vouchers with expiration dates, resell canceled seats at higher fares, and collect insurance payouts when weather strikes. One leaked airline memo put it bluntly: weather delays allow us to re-optimize pricing and capture higher yields. In other words, your missed connection is their algorithm's jackpot. And while you're navigating chaos at the gate, your checked bag might be flying with $40,000 worth of freight. Airlines increasingly rely on cargo profits, from e-commerce packages to high-value pharmaceuticals, to subsidized passenger routes. On many flights, the boxes in the belly are worth more than the people in the seats. Number 5. The delay profit scheme. Every time your flight gets delayed, someone's making money, and it's not you. Airlines have turned operational chaos into a revenue machine, capitalizing on your frustration while hiding behind weather maps and scheduling excuses. Fuel hedging is the quiet profit engine behind delays. Between 1999 and 2008, Southwest Airlines saved over $4 billion through hedging strategies, with 83% of company profits in certain years coming from locked-in fuel deals. When storms hit and fuel prices spike, airlines win big, while passengers wait at the gate. Delays also trigger a cascade of profit opportunities. Canceled flights let airlines resell seats at surge pricing, collect weather-related insurance payouts, and offer travel vouchers instead of refunds, all while avoiding legal compensation for domestic delays. Then come the change fees. In 2011 alone, airlines earned $2.38 billion from reservation changes. Most passengers desperate to salvage their plans rebook at higher fares. It's a double dip: revenue from the fee itself, and again from the upsell. And the system isn't built to absorb shocks. Airlines run tight schedules with minimal backup aircraft, knowing full well that disruptions funnel customers into higher margin rebooking scenarios. What looks like poor planning is often strategic scarcity. Number 6. Crew training secrets. That friendly greeting when you board? It isn't just hospitality, it's an assessment. Flight attendants are trained to scan passengers in seconds, profiling everything from stress levels to status tier to upsell potential, all while smiling. Airlines invest millions annually in psychological training designed to convert in-flight interactions into revenue. Industry-wide crew-generated upsells contribute between $11 and $18 billion per year. The top-performing crews don't just ensure safety, they outperform others by doubling or tripling revenue per passenger. The curriculum goes far beyond service. It includes resistance handling frameworks, objection deflection techniques, and nonverbal cue reading. Air France, for example, enlisted psychologist Philippe Gury to train flight attendants to decode behavioral signals and turn mid-flight anxiety into retail opportunity. Cabin crew are trained to redirect passenger stress, boredom, or discomfort into compliant behaviors or purchases. One training module includes role-playing irate passenger scenarios while simultaneously identifying upsell opportunities for premium snacks, Wi-Fi, or seat upgrades. Airlines even hire for persuasion. Job listings might say service-oriented, but recruiters actively screen for candidates with retail sales experience and emotional intelligence. Safety matters, but the hidden metric is sales performance cloaked in hospitality. Number 7. Secret communication codes. While you're sitting in 12B wondering why the crew seems to be whispering or making cryptic announcements, they're actually having full conversations about you. And they're not speaking in plain English, they're using codes you're never supposed to understand. Cabin crews communicate through an entire system of hidden language. Bob means best on board, shorthand for a particularly attractive or high-value passenger. Philip, or Pilp, that's passenger I'd like to punch, used when someone's being difficult. You might even hear hot coffee in 3B, which isn't about drinks at all. It's a coded way of alerting crew to someone attractive in that seat. Then there's X days in specific country, a discreet way for crew to comment on someone's appearance or behavior without passengers catching on. And phrases like ground stop or gate return aren't just logistical updates. They often signal internal security issues or escalating behavior concerns, all hidden behind a mask of normality. But the psychological scripting goes deeper. Airlines hire behavior consultants to train crew in customer de-escalation tactics, often under programs labeled emotional intelligence. According to reporting by the Chicago Tribune, this training focuses not just on resolving problems, but on redirecting difficult passengers toward compliance or even purchases. And that's the key. You're being analyzed for revenue potential. Crews are trained to spot who's most likely to splurge on duty-free, accept a paid upgrade, or settle for a voucher during disruption. And sure, have a little fun while doing it. Number 8. Passenger Profiling System. From the moment you step into the terminal, artificial intelligence starts watching. Not just for safety, but for profit. Every facial twitch, every shift in your posture, it's all being analyzed to determine how much money they can extract from you. AI surveillance systems track stress, mood, and buying intent using facial recognition, gait analysis, and even thermal imaging. These tools don't just assess if you're a threat. They assess if you're ready to buy an upgrade or cave to a sales pitch. And this profiling isn't just for safety checks. Airlines are experimenting with systems like Pythagorean fuzzy deep Boltzmann machines to classify passengers as trusted, regular, or risky, not only for security, but to prioritize who gets upsell offers, faster boarding, or deeper screening. Behind the scenes, the surveillance gets even more invasive. The Airlines Reporting Corporation, owned by major carriers, holds data on over half of all global flights and shares full travel histories with agencies like ICE and CBP. This includes 39 months of past bookings, plus any future trips, whether you fly or not. Meanwhile, the TSA's facial recognition system is live in 84 airports and expanding fast. Officials claim the data gets deleted, but those scans move into the DHS's long-term biometric vault, part of a plan to track 97% of all departing passengers by 2028. Number 9. The safety trade-off. Behind the calm voice announcing your cruising altitude, there's a quiet trade-off airlines don't talk about: safety versus profit. And in too many cases, profit wins. Southwest Airlines once flew 46 aircraft on nearly 60,000 flights without performing mandatory fuselage crack inspections. That means 145,000 passengers flew with known structural risks. The fine? Just $7.5 million. Less than 0.01% of their annual revenue. For the airline, it was cheaper to pay the penalty than to follow protocol. Maintenance delays are backed into operations through a system called the minimum equipment list. Airlines can legally postpone certain repairs for up to 120 days, even if pilots report the issue, as long as it doesn't exceed minimum safety requirements. American Airlines flew planes 58 times with unresolved safety problems before getting fined $7.1 million. Again, the financial benefit outweighed the risk. But the deeper danger? Outsourcing. Around 20% of commercial aircraft maintenance is performed in countries like El Salvador, China, and Argentina, where oversight is weak, labor is cheaper, and regulation barely stretches. The FAA oversees nearly 5,000 certified foreign shops, but with limited manpower and no requirement that licensed mechanics do the work themselves, it's often impossible to verify the quality. To make matters worse, airlines intentionally understaff their maintenance departments and impose unrealistic turnaround demands on techniques. The result? A pressure cooker environment where cutting corners becomes the only way to keep flights on schedule. Passengers never see these trade-offs, but they're built into the system, quietly, legally, and profitably. Number 10. The MEL Abuse System. Every commercial aircraft takes off with broken equipment, not because it's safe, but because the airline decided it's safe enough. This quiet policy is called the Minimum Equipment List, or MEL, and it's less about safety than it is about squeezing profits. MEL protocols let airlines legally defer repairs for 10, 30, or even 120 days, depending on the component. That means your next flight could have dozens of broken systems, anything from cabin lights and coffee machines to backup navigation tools or engine monitoring sensors, all labeled non-essential. But here's the real danger. Airlines actively lobby regulators to expand what qualifies as deferrable. Over time, systems that were once mandatory for safety get quietly reclassified. Not because the risk changed, but because the accounting did. Why does this happen? Because grounding a plane for repair can cost $150,000 to $300,000 per day in lost revenue. MEL deferrals keep planes in the sky and profits flowing. Internal memos show maintenance managers being rewarded with bonuses for keeping aircraft operational, not for fixing what's broken. One former mechanic put it bluntly: "We were told to find MEL justifications for problems instead of fixing them. Management made it clear that creative MEL interpretation was more valued than thorough repairs." And the oversight? Mostly self-reported, with tens of thousands of daily flights and only a handful of FAA inspectors. Airlines know the odds of being flagged are near zero. It's a system designed for plausible deniability, and it works. So when you buckle in and hear routine maintenance, know that some of those issues were never fixed. They were just filed away under MEL. You've just seen 10 ways airlines turn passengers into profit centers. From pricing algorithms and loyalty addiction to hidden safety shortcuts and behavioral surveillance. Every part of your journey is engineered to extract more. Now you know the rules of the game they were never going to explain. What you do with that knowledge is up to you. Hit like if this changed how you see flying. Subscribe to keep decoding the systems designed to keep you in the dark. And drop a comment with the airline trick that shocked you most. You just decoded it. This is Transit Code.